Welcome back to the channel, guys. It's your boy JT, and I'm glad you're here with me again today. In today's video, we're going to talk about using the outside node in Davinci Resolve. Outside node. The outside node is a pretty powerful node. It gives you a lot more flexibility around your power windows, and with being able to kind of redirect or recontrol the lighting or the softness of the scene. And once you really learn how to use this outside node, you can use it creatively however you please. So now the way that I use the outside node most of the time is once I've gone in and let's say I've selected my subject and I track them and I get that perfect track on them, and also I'm able to go in and get those features selected in the way that I need for them to be selected. Then when I want to make sure that my subject is the brightest part of my scene, or I really want to kind of make that subject's face pop, you can use that outside node to basically do the inverse of every other change that you've done in the preceding node. So we're going to show you that. And along the way, I'm going to give you a couple of other little tips and gems in there that I think will be some great added value for you and your content creation. Let's get over here into this outside node. Okay, so now we're getting ready to go back into Davinci Resolve. I've already got a clip over here. This is a clip, one of my B-roll clips. Actually, I think this might have even been a performance clip or part of a performance clip, but it's my man Alibi Ranks out of Houston, Texas, singing one of the songs that I really like. But we may kind of work on that, show you some more of that when we get into our music video editing session a little bit later on down. So hey, look, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and get subscribed, so when we drop that, you'll be one of the first ones to know. All right, so I'm gonna show you here first on the timeline, like where I am. Now, for all my beginners, if you get in there, now if you hit the I on your keyboard or you hit the O on your keyboard, the I is a shortcut key for input. The O is a shortcut key for output. So now if you accidentally hit that I somewhere and you're just like, oh my God, what happened? Or you hit that O somewhere and say, oh man, what's this? And it looks like this. Don't trip. You don't have to restart the software. You don't have to go and delete everything. All you have to do, because what that is that's setting your input and your output. Okay. Now you can go Option X. It'll take it out. Nugget. All right. Because I remember when I first started, I remember seeing it. I'm like, oh my God, half the screen is black, half the screen is gray. What in the world did I do? And that's just it. It's you've set the points, and you can have those points removed. And if you just don't know, it might cause you to do a little panicking, but I just want to say that. Let's find a good spot here. Dude, we can be able to get, and I'm gonna, where was it? I think I just had a good point in the color page. You can see a lot more in the color page, but well, now we're gonna go to the color page, okay? Let me see here. All right, I have to make sure we straight. All right, if you see what I see down here on the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages over on the bottom, it's the color tab. So you click on that color tab. Now we're over here in the color page. Let me turn this off. Okay, let me make sure this is reset all the way so you can see. I'm gonna even go ahead and just to, again, for some of you who may have just been joining in, this is one of those channels where, hey, look, we don't do a lot of, trying to explain things in 15 to 20 seconds to appease that social media dopamine. We just want to kind of get it to you straight out the mud. Basics, fundamentals, that's what we do. And so if you're looking for a quick short video, this is not the channel for you. I'm sorry, but there's a lot of them out there. I just think that for my audience and for our community, we appreciate somebody that takes the time and fill in those gray areas. I don't like to give people information and then leave it to them to have to figure out other stuff by either common sense or more research. When we get off of here, I want you to know the ins and outs of this outside node. All right. So I'm going to take this off. I'm going to delete that. So that way you can, just to kind of remember, this right here is just kind of the starting point for all of our node structure for the media. This is basically this media file. This is a representation of that media file. So we're going to bring that over, connect it, and then we know that in order for us to get that output from here to the output channel, right there, that's it. And then it's connected, okay? So now, remember how we add nodes. We're going to just add a node. And again, we're getting ready. I'm not going to take super slow time. I'm not going to be super slow with it, but I am going to try to give you a thorough explanation. We'll be in and out in a few minutes, all right? So we're going to go Option S, and I'm just going to name it. You know, I like to name everything. I like to keep some order in what I'm doing. So I'm going to name it. We're going to say exposure. We're gonna do a couple of things to this one little clip, and then I'm gonna show you something. Okay, we do another Option S. We're gonna call it color. So I'm gonna go tab. Yeah, you can do a right click and you can go node label. That will allow you. But if you look here, I have my tab key set as the shortcut to be able to change the node label for my node. So I'm gonna click that so that you can see what I'm doing. So you're not just magically seeing words pop up over the nodes. You know how I got there. So we're gonna say color balance. All right, then we'll do another one. We're gonna Option S, which is the same thing as doing a right click and going to add node and change it to another serial connector. We're just doing Option S. So now, how did I just change that node? For me, it's a tab. It might be a F2 or something like that on yours. And we'll do a video over the shortcuts, because there are definitely some shortcuts that you can use that'll give you, a speed advantage. We're gonna call this one saturation, all right? So for me, I'm gonna say these are my primary, my primary correction nodes right here, all right? Now, our primary correction nodes are going to be things like our exposure, our saturation, contrast, detail, pivot, color boost. I like to, instead of putting a lot of corrections on one node, I like to have a correction per node. Every now and then I might do a second correction on one node or multiple corrections on one node. But for the most part, I think that for me and the way that I move and vibe within this whole thing, I like having individual nodes for individual things. And then there are enough specific nodes that will allow you to do specific corrections. Okay, so that's what we're about to get into. So right now I'm going to do these primary corrections right here. All right, so this was shot on the Blackmagic 6K. I'm going to come over here. Let's see, I'm going to come over here and click on the metadata. I'm going to change this. Okay, that says 23.9. Let me see. I think I might have shot it with, let me come here. Yeah. Okay, yeah, it was shot at 23. Because you can set up on your camera to record at one format, but also show what your timeline frame rate is going to be as well. So I just wanted to make sure that those were the same. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to make some adjustments to my exposure. I don't want to approach this fuzz. All right, let's go ahead and drop that down a little bit. We'll raise that up some. All right, we've opened it up. Okay, I'm not going to do too much right here because I'm going to show you some stuff now. A couple of these nodes that I'm getting ready to show to you, we've already done in the past. Like we get ready to mess around with this layer node as well. That's just going to be some added value. But we do a full layer node tutorial already. I'll put that up here in case you want to go and visit that. So now we've got our color balance deal and our saturation. I'm going to come over here to my saturation. And instead of just doing saturation, I'm going to boost some of these colors, okay? That's what I want to do, because I want it to be a different kind of a saturation look on here. Now I'm going to come over here to color balancing. Now watch this. Here's a nugget. I haven't gone over these primary wheels yet, but here's a little shortcut that I like to do so I can begin to kind of see the vibe or the feel that I want for my images color balance. I like to come over here to the offset wheel. You can come in here, you can kind of play around with this and you can eyeball it. Wait a minute, let me turn this off so we can get us a little more real estate. All right, here we go. I'm gonna come over to my color wheel. For me, even without having my parade balance up, I can already see that I've got a little more yellow, a little more red in there. But I'm gonna click on here. I'll come over here to the parade. All right, and like I said, we got a little more red and a yellow, which, red and green makes yellow, right? Yeah, orange, whatever. But I see that I got more green and red than I have blue. So one of the things I'm going to do is come over here to my offset wheel, and I'm going to start to kind of pull it over here a little bit. And I'm going to start kind of eyeballing a balance. And we'll kind of see what it looks like. And this is so cool you can do it like this, because even without it being fully saturated, you can still begin to get a pretty good idea of what those natural skin tones are like. You see what I'm saying? Bam, look at that. Watch this. We're from that to that, just that quick. Now, one of the things I know I can do is I can draw a window on his skin, and then I can pull my vector scope in, like we showed you on the vector scope video, and I can see where his skin tones lie. How about we do that real quick? I'm gonna go option, and this will just be for S's and giggles, but we'll say option parallel. I'm just gonna come in here. Let's see if we can pull a skin tone real quick, just to kind of see where the skin tone lies at. All right. Just right here. And I'm gonna grab the vector scope, because that's what we use to see our skin tones. Right now, I'm gonna come over here, go to settings on my vector scope. Let's show this skin tone indicator line, and there we go. So we can see about how far away from having this as a good skin tone line is. Okay, you see this line right here? And this might be throwing a little bit too much at you. If I think it is, I just kind of pull it on out. But one of the things we can do is I'm gonna look here, grab my red. Let's see what happens on the vector scope. You know what? I think we were right there on it. Yep, I think we was right there on it. It's kind of hard to see, but yeah, you see how we're literally right there on it. We're not overly saturated. Again, the higher the saturation is, the more it would be crawling up that line right there and approaching this red and in between this yellow. But right here, we've got a trace that's right on that line. And you can see this is a trace. It's right on that line, okay? So, and that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted. So I was kind of able to eyeball that. Not saying that eyeballing it works all the time, but I'm looking at other colors. I mean, my red looks red. My white does still kind of have a tinge of blue, which makes sense because we can see that the trace is actually still kind of dipping over here into the blue. Learn to use this vector scope. If you don't want your people coming out looking orange or Oompa Loompa light, learn this vector scope. I've got a video on it that'll show you how you can go in and play and finagle with that vector scope. But let's get on back over here. We're ready to go into this outside node. All right, I'm gonna delete that because we don't really need it. But now, saturation, we'll go ahead now. We've got it on color boost there. I'm gonna bump it up just a smidge, because we got some other stuff we're gonna do. All right, now here I'm gonna add another node. Okay, now I'm gonna bring this down. We get ready to start over here now. I'm gonna change that to subject. All right, it's the first one. Now, one of the nodes that we did in the other video was a layer node. All right, so I'm gonna go to Option L. That creates a layer node, just like what we said. Now, remember, when you do a layer node, you have to add another node on the side, on the edge of this. I just like to call mine resultant. So I'm going to say Option S with this selected, and that's going to give me another node. I'm going to change that to resultant. Now, we haven't gotten to the outside nodes yet. We're just kind of building a little grade here, okay? Resultant. Now, I'm going to say layer 1. All right. Let's come on, pull back a little bit here. So we've got a nice little beginning to our grade here. Okay, I'm gonna put it back on waveform to make sure we're not clipping on the top and bottoms. And again, we're good. So now, for all of my Photoshop aficionados, this right here is how you replace that Photoshop. Or at least replace that bill from Photoshop. But anyway, okay, so now, this right here is my layer 1. I'm going to select this layer node I'm going to go to composite. Let's say overlay. Ooh, look at that. You know how the overlay node works. Look at that. Look, watch this. Ooh, slick, ain't it? All right. So now we're able to see that. We got that right here. Now, one of the things we can do is we can come in here and we can adjust, just how strong that is by coming over here, reducing it reducing the gain for the key output of it, right? Looking good, looking good. Hey, watch this. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Hey, look, you can't break it. Play with it. This is just the layer node. This is the power of the layer node, okay? I'm going to come in here now. We've got another result here, right? I'm going to come in here now. Let's add another layer. Bam. There we go. I'm going to call that layer 2. Just because there's something I want to do, because we've got some whites in there. I want to kind of maneuver. We're going to go Option S to get us another one over there. I'm going to call that one resultant 2. So that's 2 different layers. We're going to do 2 different things. We're going to click on this layer node. I'm going to put that on screen just because I like how they are. So you see, you can come in and you can do several different, this is like having the composite menu right there with you. Same way it is like on Photoshop. And like I said, for all my Photoshop aficionados, you can see how your creativity can be expanded even within video. Let's play around with some of these. What about soft light? Yeah, just like that. Now, remember, we can come in here and we can reduce our gain output. And because remember, this is feeding into here, right? This is feeding into here. So this is the one we'd have selected. And we can reduce our gain output and begin to kind of bring that in. Now, remember, we have an exposure node up here as well. We can come up and we can begin to make adjustments with that. Let me come back over here to my curve. Watch this. Look at that. So from here, this was out of the camera to here. And not that this is how you would do all of your grades, but man, just to understand how that deal works is just, it's off the chain. So now we're here. All right, now we are here. Here we go. Let's say we're going to add another layer. Option L. Okay, then let's add another end on the side over here. Okay. We're going to call that resultant. Okay, so whatever we get over there, then we'll let that feed into the next set of corrections. But so as you can see, all of these different nodes, they might look like a lot. It might begin to, crowd the screen, but you can see that they have a purpose. And when you label each one of them, you can stay in track and you can move them around however you want them to. You can move these around however you want them to. So right now we're going to come here. I'm going to call this relight. All right. Let me redo that. Relight. Okay, so now I have him right here. Let's do this. I like that shot right there. Nice clean shot, nice in focus shot for right there. It's shot at 24 frames a second, so you're gonna see some natural blur. Now, we're gonna come in here. We're gonna throw a power window on his face, okay? Put a power window right here. And some of this, I've touched on power windows, but that's coming up. Once we get past the scopes, we're gonna jump on these power windows. So I'm gonna give you the full gambit of all of these different scopes. I want you to get that because that's going to put the power right in your hand. So here, let's just I'm just going to kind of bring this in, make it shape his face. And we're going to add some soft edges to it. Okay, now what I'm going to do here is, you see this? You see where my mouse is? Right here on that power window, I'm going to click here. And what that does is that makes it to where everything outside of that mask is what we're controlling. That also means that what's inside of the mask won't be affected by any change that we make. Like, for example, watch this. We're going to say actually, I'll come over here to my curve. We just drop this. You see how it made, that's what it did. So when I put that, let me turn my editable, I was using editable splines. Let me turn that off. So now, what I did was I put that mask around his face. So I'll come back in. Let me come back in on this one right here. And I'm going to uninvert it. And you can see that if I come in and make a change, you see that? I'm making a change over his face right now, right? You see, I just made that change over his face. Now, but if I come in and I invert it, that change goes outside of that node. And this right here is what gives you the soft edge that allows you to kind of transition it to where you can't really see the hard edge of where that change begins, okay? So now, let's come back out, and I'm going to come back out here, put that back in, and I'm going to reset that color on that wheel. There we go. So now we're right. Okay, now this is what I want to do. We're almost to that outside node, and it's really simple. It's a complement to the other nodes that you have. All right. So I have this. This is my subject. I just put this mask on his face. I'm gonna track him right here next to the power wheel. This is a little more advanced, but I'm gonna give it to you. Right here outside of that mask, I'm gonna come in. Let's track his face. All right. So we lost our track right there, and we wouldn't, for an effect, we're not going to be tracking that long anyway. We can always come in and redo that, or kind of do it frame by frame or whatever, and we can make sure that it goes on there. I can't get away with it. I gotta show it to you. I gotta show it to you. Okay, now watch this. So I just changed it to frame over here instead of clip. I'm gonna come over here, and we're gonna stay with it. We're just gonna stay with it. Couple of frames, 1, 2, 3. We did this before. 1, 2, 3. We just see, this reason why I don't want to do it. I probably should have just chose a shorter clip, but that's fine. That's fine. Hey, you're here. I'm here. We'll give you your money's worth. All right. So you'll see it moving. This is very, very, very rough, people, but we're gonna stay with it. We're gonna stay with it because I'm going somewhere with it. So stay with me. I'm going somewhere with this. All right. So watch this. You see all these keyframes that are down here, and you can go back and look at the keyframe video, but this is all the keyframe. That's why I said in the beginning, these keyframes are going to stay with you. They're going to stay with you. They're going to stay with you. All right. Come on. Get back. There we go. It's staying with him. All right. Let's see where it falls off at. It's staying with him. I know this guy. And he is this animated, very talented artist here in Houston. All right, let's go. Keep going. All right. Yes, I consider myself to be a pretty loyal cat. And this is one of the boys that when I first started, we was downtown Houston. Me, AC, Alibi Ranks, Player, Lady 380. Oh, we got it in. Right there in downtown Houston. Right over there across from Toyota Center. Flat out doing it. Okay, let's see. Alright. So as you can see, I mean, like I said, this is one of those, it's just a lot more. I probably should have made this a lot shorter, but I just grabbed the clip. I said that at the beginning. I just grabbed the clip. All right, there we go. All right, now, and we still only gonna use one frame, but just in case, bam, that's the frame we're gonna use. Okay, so now, like I said, this is our subject. We have our mask. Now, we can do this one or two ways. If I want to make sure that he stands out in this scene. So that means I want my subject's face to be a little bit brighter than the rest of the scene. And so we've got a nice soft power window around the subject, which means that everything outside of that, we can darken. We can do that one or two ways. We can either make changes to the inside face, and then do an outside node that will affect everything outside of the changes that we make on this particular node. Or we can inverse this. We can make changes to that and then create an outside node for it that'll only impact the inside. So let's do that. Okay, so let me come over here to where my power window is for this particular node. I'm going to inverse the power window. I just hit that inverse button. You can see the white is what you see, the black is what's hidden. That's why it's called a mask. So the white is everything outside of that mask. Now I'm going to come in here. I'm going to go to my wheels, and let's begin to bring that exposure down. So you can see it's coming down on the highlight. See, everything in the mask is still there. Coming down here in some of the mids, coming down here in some of the shadows. As a matter of fact, okay, now we need to kind of realign that with his face. We can make sure that our mask is good. We just really kind of want on the face. All right, even kind of bringing this right here in some. All right, there we go. Now we have, if you look at the node, check out that node. You can even look on the node and see. Now remember, when it's a mask, what's in white you can see. What's in black is hidden, just like a mask. Now, so right here on his face, that's the part that's not being affected. Where that mask shape is, look at that mask and look at the shape on the node. That's what's not being affected. Everything else is being affected. So when I do outside node, which is option O, or where's mine? Or you can do a right click and go to add outside. But for me, it's option. For if you're on a Windows or PC, it's going to be Alt. But for me, it's option because I'm on a Mac. Or you can do a right click and go to add outside. Add outside. So now, the changes we make here are going to be outside the node. And whatever changes over here on the outside node would be the opposite of what we choose here. Okay, I hope that let me rename this. Okay, I just made it outside node. Now, just again, whatever changes we make here, the outside node would allow you to make changes outside of these changes. Okay, so now right here, let's say we want to bump that up, and we're not going to be super technical. I'm just going to, let's say I'll add a little bit of shadow. You can see our graph on that. Let's say I want to add a little bit of contrast right there on the face. Okay, we're doing that. And let's see if we can see some change. Yeah, it's subtle, but that's what it is. But that's off, that's on. That makes it a little brighter. This node right here, we've already reduced the exposure. I'm going to reduce it a little bit more. Let's bring down some of these highlights. Let's bring down more of our shadow line. Let's bring down just a little bit more of our shadow line. And now you can even look on the node and see just how much of a difference it is. But watch this. Bam. We added some shadow. We added some depth to our shadows. We also added some contrast. So that is how you would use the outside node. The outside node it gives you the ability to not have to go in and recreate a whole lot of other nodes. It's like, okay, I want to make this change, but I want my subject to stand out. Okay, let's mask our subject. Let's track him up. And then let's get that exposure that we want for his background and around him. And then we'll add an outside node to increase his brightness, to increase his exposure, however it is that we want. Okay, so like right now, if we want to come in and let's say we want to come in and change the color balance on this thing, kind of like we did the other one. I'm gonna come in just messing around. Let's say we want to make this a little more blue. Look at that. That's what we just did. Okay. Man, I got so much I want to show you guys on this thing. We could just really kind of keep going, but I think I've probably given you enough already. We also touched on using the layer node some more, so you got a chance to see that in real application. I think that's a good thing. But now the main thing was just about this outside node. That was it. So let's say we go ahead and I'm going to come back in and we'll reverse it. So now we have here the end, we have this mask turned inside out. Let's turn it inside in. And so now you can see that the outside node now impacts what's in here, as opposed to, it impacts what's out here. It's brighter outside than it is on the inside. So I'm gonna put that back the way it was. And then we've got it a little darker here. Let's make it a little more dramatic on the as far as when the exposure on the outside. I just want you to be able to get that. Let me pop that out. I just did a right click on that. There you go. You see that? His face is still much brighter than the background. All right, his face is still much brighter than the background. And that's it. That's it. So man, it's these things here. Like I said, you've got to play with it, and it's going to continue like that throughout that entire clip because we track that mask, and so the software is going to keep up with it. So guys, look, that is the outside node. You'll be able to use this outside node in your own creative way. I always use it when I'm tracking subjects and I want to kind of, make them stand out, pop out. I always go to the outside node. That's what gives me that ability to make sure that my subject, whatever it is able to stand out a little bit more. Sometimes that difference might be subtle, but look, play with it, mess with it, add an outside node, add a layer. Go in there, add your couple of layers and make some of these individual changes that you want to make to your clips and play with that outside node. You'll be amazed at some of the things that you can create using this Davinci Resolve Color Page. So guys, look, hopefully this video has brought some added value to you and your content creation. I'm hoping that it also brings you some more understanding to that outside node. Just always think of it as whatever I do here, that outside node is going to give me the ability to make that change in the opposite areas of wherever my mask is. Okay. And also, hey, if you're new here, I want to welcome you to the channel. Thank you for spending this time with your boy JT. I'm glad to have you here. I'm glad to have all of you guys here. Hey, in case y'all hadn't noticed, we've gone up over 500. We had 527 the last time I looked. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. It lets me know that there is value in what it is that I'm trying to present to you guys. And I'm really honestly just kind of sharing the things that I've learned and that have made me a better filmmaker, content creator, and video editor. We're going to dive deep into this color grade and I'm going to take you along, but like I said, I'm planning on filling in all those gray areas. I don't want you to have to use common sense for anything. I want it to be right there. Your common sense will come when you begin to kind of come into your own creativity. So if you're new here, please consider subscribing. Join this community. Watch us grow. We're going to grow this thing together. I'm not hard to find. You can reach out to me. I don't mind answering those DMs, and I have fun. I'm meeting other people, and you can ask anybody else. Drop it in the comments, and you can ask anybody else. JT loves to get in there and talk shop. We can talk this stuff all day long. And hey, I was always taught, man, that look, God blesses us by touching the hearts of other people. So let me be a blessing to you.